Some years ago, your other brothers reached a crossroads. We had started our little website, a hodgepodge of humans, young and old, of varying denominations and faith traditions, sexual identity labels from all around the world. And it was a beautiful thing for a group of people who had never met before. Our first meeting and virtual communication went so well. We got along so well. We loved blogging. We loved recording podcasts, loved connecting with other men through this medium of story. We were storytellers, after all, and Yob was a story being written, one blog, one podcast, one Zoom call at a time. And looking back now, I have to show myself some grace that I didn't know what I was doing. I had never started a community before. More than just a community, but what felt like a veritable movement in a side B space that really wasn't very clearly articulated at the time. I couldn't have known then what I know now, which is we needed to know what we believed. We needed to write it down. We needed it to be visible, not just for anyone who clicked onto our website, but for ourselves as the ones contributing. Back then, when everything was so new and the momentum was so palpable, it was easy to just assume, oh yes, the Lord is in this and it cannot fail. We were growing in numbers and growing in enthusiasm. And it was too easy to think that something like that could just naturally last forever without any sort of bearing, without any sort of direction about where we were going. We said we were navigating faith, homosexuality, and masculinity together, and it gave lots of room for people trying to figure out what they believed. And what it ultimately started leading to was people not just in one boat going one direction, but people jumping overboard, finding other boats going similar or, for some, completely opposite directions. I wasn't too sure we were actually following the same star in the sky. The same star of hope that had brought us together felt like it was driving us apart. And now I wondered, where would we go from here? To put it simply and also devastatingly, I was humbled at that crossroads, at that cross waters, faced with the choice to follow what I believed was the true light and the true hope in the sky, or to follow other lights and other souls. I followed the light, and I fell to my defeated knees night after night for quite a while. Not at all triumphant, not at all confident that I could continue. It was in that moment, as gut-wrenching as it was for many to walk away, when the dust settled, when the sun rose the next morning, I realized there were still quite a good number actually, still in the boat with me and still willing to press on to set sail once again. And that feeling, that experience was another sort of humbling altogether, to realize that truly your other brothers wasn't anything about my effort, about how good of an editor I was, or how good of a community organizer I was. It wasn't even about how good the people were. It was about how good God is, how faithful He is to bring the right people and to bring the right talents and to bring the right stories into this greater story that He's writing. And during a time when your other brothers could have easily folded, could have easily stopped, could have easily had a 2 or 3 year run and simply died out, God has truly intervened and made this story about Him. For as long as I'm involved, I long for the heartbeat of this community, the heartbeat of our website, the heartbeat of our Zoom calls and retreats, to be a reflection of the God that we serve, the God that we follow, the God that is faithful to provide, even when all else has felt stripped away, when we've been veritably humbled and brought to our knees with nothing left to hold on to but Him. In that sweet place that He receives the glory, receives all the accolades, receives all the worth. And I know as a community, I pray that Jesus is constantly worth following, constantly worth having everything be stripped away for. And I want that to be true in my life too. Christ's Beatitudes are words that have shaken the foundations of the earth ever since He uttered them from that hill. Incredible words that speak of a completely backwards kingdom. Everything flipped from how we think it should be, from the way it usually is in this world. His words are a comfort to those who feel like they're constantly in the back of the crowd, falling further and further behind, feel as if they have nothing left in their tanks. In Matthew 5, Jesus says this: "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven." And so, fellow sparrows, for the times when this journey of sacrifice, this carrying our cross, feels difficult, daunting, even impossible, may you be reminded, may you be existentially assured that you do not carry your cross alone. Fellow brothers and sisters and siblings of saints throughout the ages have carried and continually carry this cross too. Jesus Himself carried a literal cross, and may you rest in this deed and in His own words that the poor, the mourning, the meek, the hungry and thirsty, the merciful, the pure, the peacemakers, the persecuted and reviled, these are the ones who will inherit the earth. May we set aside all that hinders us and get on our knees and stay on our knees. This lowly place, this place of surrender, may it be a place of comfort, night after night, as Jesus meets us there, meets us through every tear of sacrifice. Blessed are you, for yours is the kingdom, an upside-down kingdom for the last, a kingdom for the lowly, a kingdom for the eternally loved.